Well, if he's had some of the biggest rap music hits in history, you agree with that, then why is this one not a good karaoke pick? Right. Okay, that does make sense. Okay. Hey, I gotta go. Bye. Hi. Hello. Hey, man. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hi, welcome back to my show. Okay, what is this? Oh, we got a debate. I got a debate with Sam here. Sam, are you on the line?
Hey, folks.
Yeah, it's just me here, man. I got a lot of problems with you, and I want to debate you about it, man.
Do you drink wine?
Okay, here we go. Trying to discredit me. Yes, I had a few drinks. Has nothing to do with my, well, okay, I'm not at full capacity.
You can pause or cancel at any time.
Really? Thanks, man. You're a good guy, man.
We are back. Sam Seder on the Majority Report. Emma Vinglin out today. It's
Where the hell is she?
To welcome I back, I guess.
You're a little baby.
Years and
Been a
years
minute.
ago.
Been a minute.
Ezra Klein, New York Times columnist, host of the podcast, The Ezra Klein Show. Also,
never heard of him.
Co-author of the new book, Abundance.
Oh, God damn it. I heard about this. This guy's got a book. You got a book? This guy's got a book. It's number 4 right now on the Amazon charts. It's right under my book, which is How to by
Tassan Parker.
So stupid. So yeah, I've been seeing this guy on all these podcasts, Lex Fridman, whatever the other one is. And Sam Seder kind of debated him. Uncle Sam.
Toilet.
No, come on, man. So, this book's a big political thing. This guy's doing interviews all over the place. Sam's doing a debate with him. Let's check it out. Let's check this out and see if we can get into it. Let's see if we can clap back.
That I hear on the left. Let's take housing, because I also think it's very important to ground things in like a specific case.
Okay.
Texas builds more housing than California.
Right.
It builds more housing than New York. When people move to Austin and Houston and Dallas, they build homes. When people move to San Jose and San Francisco and Los Angeles, they don't.
Like, look at Austin, for instance. You bring up Austin. In the course of Austin, costs went up. Rents went up. It became expensive there.
Rents have gone down in Austin because they built so much.
They built so much.
I really want to hold on what you said the first time.
But
San Francisco has concentrated money in a way that...
Let that guy talk, man.
Change.
Okay, great. So they're talking about Austin here. Austin, Texas. Austin.
Toilets.
You listen to this and you think like, okay, sounds like what he's saying here is... in Texas, there's less regulation or whatever on housing. They pulled back on the zoning crap or whatever. And they built more housing in Austin, Texas. And that's good for everybody, because there's more supply. And so then rent prices should fall. And then he's like, and rent prices did fall in Austin, Texas. So this is kind of proof for kind of the theory of this book, which is like, there's all this regulation and it can be used for evil, But I looked into this Austin, Texas thing, and I found something kind of interesting here. Okay, what the hell does this goddamn thing right here say? This is from December of 2024. An increasing number of Austin area renters are spending more income on housing. More income? What is that? More Austin area renters are spending a considerable portion of their income on housing than years past, according to some crap by Harvard University. 52% of renters living in Austin and the surrounding counties spent more than 30% of their income on housing costs, which include rent and utilities. This is up about 4 percentage points from 2022. So that's the time frame he's talking about. Housing experts have long recommended people spend no more than roughly a third of their income on this crap. This might be the important part right here. And have used that number as a benchmark for whether or not housing is affordable, which it is not in this case.
Shut up.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe this seems kind of a stupid way to put it, but like with housing, I think like, okay, there's a city and people live in that city. Okay, I got that so far. They need to be housed. Can they afford to do that in that city? And what this report says is no. Over half. Not only no, but that number went up in this time frame. More people cannot afford to live in this city. So yeah, I don't know. Like, what the hell is this? What the hell are we doing here? Because it sounds like what he's saying is like, look, increase the supply, pull back on the zoning crap, then the supply will increase. Then the people have a place to live. Okay, why are we still in crisis numbers then here? What the hell is going on?
The latest inflation numbers show that nationwide rents have cooled from historic highs.
Thank God.
It's not reaching every rental market or every renter.
Hey.
Austin, Texas is one of the places where rents are showing a downward trend. But lower income families there say their rents are often staying the same or even going up.
Okay.
So if there are all of these new apartments, why can't lower income families find a place to stay?
Right.
Most of our newer housing remains unaffordable if it's market rate. Of course, if we created...
Aves Har is with Housing Works Austin, and he says part of the problem with a lot of these new buildings, they're aimed at high-income earners.
Oh, right.
Nationwide, 89% of new apartments built in the last couple of years were considered high-end. They're also the ones getting deals on rent. One report showed that in Texas cities, luxury apartments saw bigger price drops than middle-tier rentals.
So yeah, I don't know. This is a weird example, the Austin thing, because, you know, what you would want to see is, oh, houses and apartments are more affordable for the people who live there. They can afford to live there. No, that's not the case. In fact, it's gotten a little bit worse. And this guy's saying, well, they built more because they, you know, pulled back on the regulation crap and rents went down. How do those two things match up? I mean, this is one explanation, that they built a bunch of like fancy buildings and the demand for that went down. Yeah, I don't know a lot of this. I read a bunch of this book too, Abundance, and a lot of it I was listening to it and I was like, what the hell's the point of this, you know? And that's what I'm thinking for this part, the Austin part. I'm like, what the hell's the point of this? Like, yeah, technically they did build more housing, right? That's like technically true. But if the whole point of housing is that people who live in a place can afford to house themselves, it didn't fix that. So what the hell's the point of this? And by the way, it's like, why am I reading this book? There are people who have like devoted their lives to like the housing crap. What's this guy's name? David Madden. Look up David Madden. He wrote a whole book about this crap. There's a bunch of other people. And a lot of these people argue with each other. They bicker back and forth, you know, urban planning people and all this stuff. You know, but I was listening to this and reading this and I was just like, why am I listening to this guy on this? Like, it's already doesn't make any sense. It doesn't get to the real point of what housing is all about. Why am I listening to this?
It builds more housing than New York. When people move to Austin and Houston and Dallas, they build homes.
What the hell does this say? Dallas-Fort Worth renter households are cost burdened. More than half of Dallas-Fort Worth renter households are cost burdened. 2024. Same Harvard study, same problem in Houston. Wait, what the hell is this? Check this out. Whoa!
Do a summary of the book. Primary problem has to do more with the regulation and the handcuffing the state has done of itself. Toilet. But the state doesn't do it itself. Like, all of this handcuffing comes from a place, and it's either moneyed interest or it's not. And so I have no doubt that at different times.
This is where I think you've really oversimplified politics.
Take it back.
I want to try to find the right example, because I think if we stay high,
I command you to take that back, man.
Like yelling about this abstract question of money.
Don't talk to Sam like that.
But
okay, this is an interesting part right here where Sam, that's this guy.
Toilet.
Come on, man. That's immature.
Toilet.
No. You know, Sam Seder is pushing back on this idea. He's like, wait a second. You're saying there's all this regulation is causing all these problems, all this red tape and all this crap. It's really slowing things down. And Sam Seder's asking, well, is that really the source of all these problems? And I remember this. There was like a viral moment where this guy Ezra Klein went on Jon Stewart.
He went on Jon Stewart's YouTube.
So for rural broadband, for instance, what you end up having is a 14-stage process. Like there's a period where the Commerce Department needs to draw up a map of which parts of the country don't have the right amount of broadband. And then there's a challenge period on the map and da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da.
Okay.
So yeah, this was like a viral moment on the Jon Stewart show. What is it that he goes on YouTube? Jon Stewart goes on YouTube. This was like a viral thing where this guy Ezra Klein was like, man, look at all this. You got to jump through all these hoops. You got to jump through all 1,000,000 hoops to get this broadband out in their rural areas. To get out in these rural areas where they ain't got no broadband. And Jon Stewart's like, oh, goddamn this to hell, you son of a bitches, you, he says. Jon Stewart goes like this.
Oh my God. Paul Davidson?
And this guy, Ezra Klein, was just like making the point, like, look, this is the problem. We got all this red tape. If we just get rid of that, everything be better, you know what I mean? But just like with the housing thing, it's like, not the story. Definitely not the whole story.
Who pushed for the challenge process? The big incumbent internet providers. Why did they push for that? Because the thing that they are most afraid of is the federal government spending money to build new broadband that would directly challenge and compete with the broadband that they're already offering in certain places. So they said...
So that's what like Sam Seder is asking about and talking about there. It's like, oh, where does all this crap come from? All these slowdowns and all this stuff. Well, here's an example. This was like one of the big viral examples from Ezra Klein. Was like, look at this internet. This is a good thing. Internet out into the goddamn middle of nowhere. But didn't work because all this red tape and crap. But this is the other side of the story where it's like, oh no, these big internet companies are kind of monopolies. They weren't into it. That's what Sam Seder is saying. He's like, this stuff comes from somewhere, and you're just making it seem like, oh, there's just red tape out of nowhere. And that's the main problem here. Oh, this is tech dirt. This is tech toilets. They've written a ton about this, and it's unfriendly to Ezra Klein, and that's putting it lightly. $42.5 billion broadband grant program being rewritten to benefit Iluma. Oh no. We've often noted how there are $42 billion in broadband grants headed to the states, courtesy of some goddamn 2021 infrastructure bill. The GOP voted against the bill, but have repeatedly turned around and taken credit for its looming benefits among our broadly misinformed electorate. Hey, shut up, man. And as we predicted, they're now redrafting key components of the program to the direct benefit of Iluma. To ensure that the billions of taxpayer money was spent wisely, the bill included numerous provisions, including recommendation that the states try to prioritize funding of fiber. Oh, that's good. That's fast. I could watch my YouTube videos faster with that. Because higher capacity fiber is generally future-proof, whereas satellite services like Starlink are congested, expensive, and harm the environment, and are seeing slowdowns as the network's customer base grows. Oh no. This crap also included some bare bones requirements that ISPs taking taxpayer money try to ensure that the resulting service is made affordable to poor people. Big ISPs like Comcast and AT&T were quick to complain last year, and the GOP held fake government investigations into the outrageous scandal that is trying to help poor people get online. So yeah, I think Sam's right, This guy's kind of like not looking at this thing. Not looking at the bigger picture of this thing. It's funny, too, that this book is just below what the hell is that book? The Anxious Generation, it's called. That's a book about how social media is all goddamn causing all the problems of society. Those books are like 3 and 4 this week on the top Amazon bestsellers. And the social media book has been up there forever. That thing is absolutely on fire. At airports or something. But it's the same kind of thing where it's like, people who study that stuff have pushed back on the guy who wrote that book, where they're like, I don't think it's the source of these problems. I think it's a effect. And he's just like, shut up. Or whatever the hell he says. It's the same kind of thing where it's like, it's just kind of misleading. It doesn't really tell you anything. And then you end up reading these books and you're like, what the hell was that? I forgot already.
Oh my God.
Whoa, calm down, man.
I'm speechless.
Yesterday, Ezra Klein.
Oh, whoa.
Booty hole waxed down.
That's right. That's that guy.
I'm out in Miami, ho.
Oh, yeah. What are you doing there, man? Okay, go ahead.
Has a brand new book out called Abundance with Derek Thompson of The Atlantic. He went on Jon Stewart's show. Here is Jon Stewart with Ezra Klein. Ezra Klein explaining all the steps that you need to go through in order to achieve a grant or a contract under Build Back Better. This clip is cut down. Okay, this isn't remotely the actual full process. Why are you shocked? Why are you speechless? You built it. This is the thing you wanted. You wanted a government that was so large and intrusive.
I didn't do anything.
And also ridden with bureaucratic corruption. This is what you wanted. Please name all of the steps you wish were removed from that process and who would be damaged from them.
Exactly.
Please. Well, here's the thing.
This is another thing that happened that the Tech Dirt articles point out is that clip got kind of got used by little goofballs like this to be like, look, see, the problem is all this regulation from the government. Just give it to Elon Musk and everything's good. So I don't know if he intended that effect, but that definitely happened.
I think it is important to confront why government in the place where people agree with us more than the places where they don't is not getting the outcomes we both want to see it achieve. That's what the book is about.
Right.
And I don't know how much public housing is in Texas or how much public housing is in Texas or if and that seems to me to be a relevant question. But
yeah, this is another good question here by Sam. you know, because we looked around Texas and the affordability problem, it's all over the place, you know? Same problem as Austin. Oh, people can't afford to live places. So, I don't know, it doesn't seem like deregulating or whatever the hell has solved the problem. But that's kind of the thing, you know, this book, it's a bestseller because it's getting a lot of promotion, I guess. But there's better stuff to read, you know. There are people who have done way more research on this, they argue, you know. But there's a lot of other stuff he doesn't talk about, like, you know, protections for renters and decommodifying housing and not making it some investment asset and all this crap. There's a lot of stuff that's just left out, and it's like some of the most important stuff. So to this Amazon bestseller, we say, I give it 2. Well, there we go, guys. Another one. Oh, it's the weekend. Do some of that and some of this. Whoa.
Paul Bet Davidson.
Well, I've been your host.
Paul Bet Davidson.
Paul Bet Davidson with an absolute another one. Talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Paul Bet Davidson. Urging you to subscribe on Patreon for as little as $2 a month. You get all the extra episodes of the show that you're missing every week, by the way. Oh, hey, guess what? It also supports the show. Oh my God, that's great. Well, guys, my name is Paul Bet Davidson, saying, have a great weekend, you know, get out of control. Why not? You know, no, don't. Do whatever the hell you want, because you're going to do it anyway. You know what I mean? You're not going to listen to me either way. Anyway, I got to get my hell out of here. Bye.